Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Art in Conversation with Farrin as part of National Association of Women Artists, NOVO. And our today artist and NOVO member is Adele Gradston. I may pronounce your last name correctly, Adele. I apologize.
Yes, yeah,
Adele, welcome to our conversation.
thank you.
Um, all right, Adele, as always, we start with you telling a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you become an artist, how you start, your artwork, and what type of art you're doing.
Well, I am an oil painter and I began painting when I was a little kid. I was very young and drew and painted all the time. And I was encouraged by my mother. So I would go out with an art teacher and draw and paint on weekends. And it was wonderful. And when I went to college, I knew I was going to be an art major. There was no other choice. So, so I had mostly printmaking in college, actually, and drawing more than oil painting, but I very much got into it after college. And I worked in different art jobs. I worked in an ad agency, which was very interesting. For a few years, and I worked at a magazine for several years, um, and doing graphic design, computer design, and I liked it all, but my real effort was in oil painting.
Mm.
And I started to sculpt when I retired and I had more daytime hours available, and I started to sculpt, to carve stone, which I enjoy a lot. So I guess there's been a progression. I've never left the arts, really.
What type of sculpture you do? What media? What you?
I'm sculpting mostly in alabaster, but in marble as well. And
Oh,
I carve. I've just started to use an air hammer. Most of the time, my previous sculptures were done the old-fashioned, chisel
is
hammer. Yeah, yeah.
All right. What's the subject of your work mostly? What
Um,
you said you are an oil painter.
yes,
What type of
yes.
yeah.
I do a variety of subjects. I have done many, many still life and views out of windows. I've done portraits and lots of landscape and lots of room interiors. And lately, I've done a bunch of cars.
Hmm.
Um, Automobiles have a wonderful sculptural quality, and when the light bounces off of those colorful vehicles, it's really
Yeah.
exciting to paint
Yeah.
them.
So what about car that attracted you? Just the reflection and the color?
Yeah, the reflections and the shapes, um, the especially older cars are so beautifully sculptural. The designs and the just the quality of their construction makes a wonderful subject.
Yeah. How you find this car? I mean, I see some of your
Well, I found what got me into it was a good friend had been to Cuba,
Oh,
and I looked at her phone screensaver one day and I saw this pink, gorgeous pink car, which was a crazy thing. I'd never seen anything like it. And I said, "Wow, where did you see that?" And she told me about Cuba, and she sent me all of her photos of Cuban cars. Well, I just went crazy and I started to paint a couple of those. And then I started to see other cars online and I used some of them as reference for my photos. And the blue one that you can see the Hudson Hornet on the right. That one was
One.
parked, that one, yes, was parked near the gallery I show in, and I ran over to catch it before it drove away, and I got some great pictures of that. The one that you're seeing, the red Bel Air, is is a Cuban car.
Okay.
So I was not there, unfortunately. It would
All
have
right.
been fun.
All right.
Um,
So at least somebody shared a picture and then
yes,
you
yes,
make it your own, a picture of it, right?
yeah.
I mean, those cars.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I work from reference. Sometimes I can be on in plein air and paint there where I am, but the light changes and shadows change, so it's good to have reference,
Yeah.
you
So
know.
mostly everyday object are the subject of your work. Is this the same also with your sculpture?
The sculpture, I sort of have a conversation with the stone. Sometimes I start a sculpture and I think I know exactly what I'm going to do with it, and then it completely surprises me. And after a few hours of it, of pounding away, I realize no, the stone doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I've changed my focus completely. So, the
So,
this elephant that I just finished, I think I showed you before. I don't know if you want to see it again.
yes, yeah, let's see it. Let's
But,
see around the gallery. I
okay.
know Adele has exhibition right now, and what we see her artwork in a gallery during her exhibition.
Oh, can you see this?
Yeah, if you move it, yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, so that
Move your
nearby,
computer, yeah, screen, yes.
I don't know if, is this visible? Can you see
Uh,
it?
yes, yeah.
If this started off as a mother and child, if you can imagine, it really was much better for me as an elephant.
Yeah, it is relevant. Oh, that's
Yeah.
very interesting. So, often your sculpture more abstract in a sense, right? Or you,
Yes.
okay,
There's an abstract quality to it, sure.
okay. And and then you because your work, you said you have references, but for sculpture, do you use
No,
references for it?
not really. Not
No,
really.
not,
There are people who make little maquettes and they know exactly what they want to do with the stone.
yeah.
I can't work like that.
Yes, I
Sort of,
understand.
it evolves as I work on it. Yeah.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, because I'm not a sculptor, I don't understand. I'm just thinking for a sculpture, you have to already know what you want to make. Otherwise, you won't be able. But
I
it's interesting to know
no,
that you start and then,
no, I think it can evolve.
yeah,
I'm happier working like that.
yeah.
And this one, I don't know if you can tell where I am right now, but let me show you this one. Can you see it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Figures.
So this one, I actually thought I was going to make a leaf, which
Oh,
is crazy, right?
yeah.
And then I don't know, it became a face. And,
Very interesting.
you know,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed working on it, and then there was the hand. Can you see that?
Yeah. It remind me of African mask or there is African Yoruba. I don't know if you're familiar with Yoruba culture.
I
There
can
is
see
one
that. I can
particular
see that.
figures in I think it's in British Museum or Louvre, I forgot. But it's very similar to that. Like has
Uh-huh.
big, large head with the hand like around the face. So as soon
Yeah.
as I saw that,
Yeah.
it remind me that. It means I thought maybe you reference to that particular Yoruba sculpture.
No, I didn't, but I think I know what you're talking about with two hands like
Yes,
this.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I do like figurative work. So as much as I try to bring out abstraction, it ends up being figurative for me. Although the back of this, I can't really turn it with one hand, but
Yeah,
the
we
back
don't
of the
see the back right
rather,
now, I think, if you move.
no, that's going to be difficult to show.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
But
okay.
basically pretty abstracted in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's really actually amazing to see like, you're painting quite different with your sculpture. Your sculpture, your
Yeah.
most of your painting, I think you use references, right?
Yes.
For
Yes.
a
This
sculpture.
this one, can you see this mountain
Yes,
view?
the mountain.
Yeah, that's Banff in Canada, in Alberta, actually. And
Okay.
it's a photograph my granddaughter took. I've been to Banff, but I didn't have any photo reference, and my granddaughter sent me this photo of Banff, and I loved it.
Yeah, beautiful.
So if something that I see makes me want to paint it, I try to, you know.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, every artist is different, I mean, some artists they have to have references, but you see, like you work with both. I mean, you painting reference, sculpture no reference. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
actually amazing ability that you have. And
Well, it's all just putting down what makes you happy to
yeah,
paint, to
that's
to
true.
show,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
actually the same
On
painting you seeing in the background.
Now this one, I took the photo. I prefer to take the photo myself, of course,
Uh-huh.
if if I'm able to. And this was a pond in Seattle at a nature center. So,
Yeah, very, very interesting. And so is this the next one with that what's that tiger? No, not it's not a tiger, right? I don't
oh, that one, yeah, that was a house in Lambertville, New Jersey. That's across the river from New Hope, Pennsylvania,
okay.
if you've heard of New Hope.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so there was just a little figurine of a cat on the porch, and it was kind of a boring subject, but I loved the house, and I thought, a leopard would be so much more fun. So,
Yeah, so you change it too. But I was just curious because you often painting from subject, and then I thought maybe somebody has a pet, you know,
yeah.
but you just
Maybe I can add to the interest if I can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. So,
And
how you find your subject? Is it just you, for example, you walk by this house and you find it interesting
mhm,
and you take
mhm,
picture and you paint?
yes. And then I take a lot of photos, and if something's in the back of my mind that I love to paint, I'll return to it.
Hmm.
And this I don't know if you can see the seagull poking its head into the, yeah, there you go. So that was a little tour boat in Maine, and this particular seagull landed on the front of the boat every time this boat went out. So they named the seagull Stanley, and they called him Stanley the Fearless because he would just stand there and look in the entire boat ride, and he did this every time, apparently. And
Yeah,
meanwhile, the guy running the boat is showing lobsters, and he's like not
yeah,
really paying attention to the seagull, but I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very interesting. How did they know that's the same?
They they just recognized it, I
Yeah,
guess. They
yeah.
said it was the same one, and every time they went out, the same bird would stand there and look in. I don't even think they fed it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So the bird that you see on the tree limb, here, I'll go over there so you can see it there.
Oh,
So
okay.
that is a red-shouldered hawk that landed on a tree while I was looking at it in San Francisco.
Hmm.
Um,
Are you go bird watching or something, or you are interested?
no, I would love to go bird watching because I do a lot of kind of secondhand bird watching.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
I
if I
see
see a
beside
bird,
cars, you have a lot of birds.
I have a lot of birds, and the that black one is a grackle that I saw in Puerto Rico, and I was very interested in those birds because they just gather. A lot of them gather.
Yeah, you have
So
another one too. That's the same.
that one, yeah, that one landed in my daughter's house, and she figured out how to get it out of the house. But in the meantime, she took pictures of it, and the window view is not her window view. I just replaced it with something I found more interesting than the grass and the tree.
Mhm. So I mean, often you do this, right? I mean, you take one subject and then you add something else to it, or you
Yes,
change it
I
uh,
do. I
the
do.
way you desire.
If it's something that I think part of it is interesting and part of it is boring, I like to replace the boring part if I
Mhm.
can.
Yes, yeah, I understand. You're
Yeah.
artist, you're creator, right? You create, and so
Yeah.
you can change
I
things.
can do what I want
Yeah,
to.
exactly. So that's the
I
beauty
can
of
edit.
being artist.
Yeah.
You take what you like, you change it with what, you desire more.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of being an artist.
It's nice. You can change the world if you want to.
I wish it was that
At least
easy,
on
right?
canvas.
Yeah, with
Unfortunately,
brush.
not
Yeah,
really.
with brush, you could change. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the that's the thing amazing about an artist. You can change, but that's not about real world. It's not that
That's
easy
right.
to change it with brush.
Yeah.
But I see, like, you have a lot of amazing work of your work in your website too, that you
Oh,
change it
thank
based
you.
on the subject. And I saw that you have some portrait of people.
Yes.
How you choose your figures? Are you, you choose it based on photo, or you choose them based on event or something you participate?
Um, Usually I do it based on the photo or the opportunity,
Okay.
you know. And if I have a photo that appeals to me, like this one that you're looking at of the children in the kindergarten. I
Okay.
wasn't kindergarten, it was nursery school,
Okay.
and they all have their own little attitude. I mean, that is a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, I
and
see that you have a lot of group. So that means the
yeah,
something you participate, or you are part of a group or something,
or I'm just observing the group,
or observing the group, right?
Yes, yes.
Wow,
And
very
I did this refrigerator was fun. I mean, the collections of photos that you see in people's homes are a lot of fun to
yeah.
work with.
And I see that you have a couple of them. You had one also
Yes,
at the beginning with the
yes, that's right.
table in
That
here.
one. Right, right. And that one started me off. It was a project I was doing for an organization, and I decided to make a still life out of the photos. So that's why you see the little bowl of fruit and the the pictures of kids
Mhm.
and a family, which happened to be my family. So,
Yes. Interesting. And so overall, all your work are around nature, and so your sculpture, which is I know you show us two of your sculpture in your exhibition currently. So how you and I said you don't have plan, you don't have concept for sculpture, and you change it and you do it as you go. So I want to say, like, so what happened if it didn't work? Like, for example, you sculpt something, you work so much into
Right.
this, and
Right.
and if you doesn't turn up as what you wanted,
Mhm.
it is something happened to you. I mean,
I,
I'm
I,
asking because I'm not a sculptor and I see that how much time you have to put into
this
something.
one, this one, for instance, the stone is kind of a finite surface, so you have all that you're going to get to work on. And this felt like a Native American face. Before I had done feathers or the back has a braid on it, the other side is a little bit different. Um, but there are pieces that you can pull out of the stone and shape that relate. It doesn't need to be factual,
Hmm.
or even realistic at all, but it can relate to the rest of the piece. So when I put the feathers in there, they were not going to be really attached to this head, but they were going to at least define this Native American subject.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes, yeah.
so
So
in that way, I think so. Yeah. So see, I mean, in the way a figure can come out of a stone doesn't depend on every little element of the stone being realistic.
okay.
It just can be part of the story.
Right. So that means your story come after.
Well, yeah,
You,
each element will kind of speak to the story.
all right. So it's not like your painting, the story is before you know what your story gonna be, where your sculpture, the story come after you finish. Okay, so this
Or
is
it comes as I work.
as you work. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense. I mean, just
So see in the back, there's a braid, and there's a little brass kind of clip or a tie. It was leather, I
yeah,
guess, that holds the hair together. And those elements can work well in a sculpture to me. They can all follow the theme.
yeah. How long it takes to carve such a
That's the
spectacular person?
eternal question. How much takes? Well, I hadn't really been using power tools until this last one I'm working on now, which is not here. I mean, I'm still working on it. But to carve it and rasp and all of that by hand takes a long, long time. Months can go by. And the funny thing is, every time you think, oh, this is the last day, I know I'm done now. And then at the end of the day, you look at it and you think, oh no, no way.
Yeah.
It's not even
Sculpture
close.
also like painting, like for example, me as a painter, right? Sometimes I
Yeah.
sit in front of my painting a couple of years after, and then I say, oh, I have to change it. And then I go and change it. And then again, a year pass, and then I say, oh, I have to change this part. Is a
That's
sculpture
right.
also something like that? Can
That's
you
right.
do that to sculpture?
Well, you can to a point.
Yeah.
If you can't add.
Yeah,
So
yes.
you can reshape, but
But That's
it
that's
can
the
get
beauty of
quite
it.
small. If you change too much, it gets very small.
Yeah.
In a painting, I do much like you. I put a painting on a little easel in the corner of my room, where I'm going to see it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think about it, and if something's bugging me, it'll continue to bother me.
Yeah.
And I know I've got to go back and attack it.
Yeah, I was that's yeah, that's actually a problem, I think, with every artist. You shouldn't put your art in front of you because no matter what or how much time you spend, and then you will find something that bothers you, or you think, oh, it
Yeah,
may, that happened to me. I finished a work 2013, and still I'm always thinking, oh, I have to seal it, I have to seal it. And every year I find something and I touch it, and it's oh, now it has to stay 6 months.
yeah,
And then.
yeah,
So,
exactly. And the more times I go back to something, the more I wish I had a Command Z, you know, an ability to reverse it,
Yeah.
like on a computer, you know, if you can if you can go back to a previous state.
Yes.
You can't do that in a painting, really.
But yeah, I mean, but the
You
sculpture,
certainly can't do it in a sculpture.
yeah, sculpture, yeah, as you said, you can add to it. You can just polish or
Mhm.
take from it, right? That's a, I should say like that's actually maybe is good, right? Because when you're done, you cannot do so much to it.
Right.
Where you get the alabaster? Is alabaster is type of
Um,
we can find it
well,
close.
you have to buy it unless somebody has rejected a stone and you take a look at it and, you know, well, I could do something with that.
Yeah,
But in this one, I bought um, this bison, which I actually have over here. Let's see, I'll walk you over. Can, can you see this?
yeah. Let me stop. Yeah. Oh, all right. You see it.
So that's the one we were just looking at,
Yes.
right? So this stone was basically a, if you can imagine this just coming up in a straight line. And I carved into it because I thought this reminded me of a mountaintop, this this edge.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a crack here, and
Can you
that
move
starts
your
me off.
computer a little bit down because okay, now it's good. Now we can see it
You
better.
see, is that better?
Yes.
So there was this little bit of a crack, and I started carving into this and feeling like there was an, you know, a bison with his nose poked into the snow,
Uh-huh.
you know.
All right.
So so that's what started me off. And I had a very good time with this. And part of the beauty of it is this beautiful surface, which is very smooth and shiny. I wish you were all here to feel this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very
Beautiful.
shiny.
Yeah, we can
And
even from here we
this
can
was
feel it.
there. I didn't have to do a thing with this. This was there.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
So
Interesting. I
so
mean,
that was, I can you see?
yeah, yeah. I mean, now I came back to your slide because I want to see the full picture of it here.
Oh, and this side it's, whoa.
All right. How long it took to, for example, make this one, this sculpture from start to end?
Uh, um, This was a very long process, but it doesn't look it really, but it was.
Yeah.
Um, God, how many months? I don't know. I
Are
don't
you
know.
inspired by Odin? Not Odin. It was what's Rodin? Rodin, who
Oh my God,
made the
Rodin.
hand of God and everything. He often used this some area polish, some area rough, which is I see
Yeah,
common in your work.
yeah, yeah. And I do like to do that. See how rough this is?
Yes.
See, this is really the way the stone was.
Hmm.
You know, this might have been formed by water rushing over the stone, you know, a million years ago. I don't know. But But yeah, I do like to leave roughness if I can.
Okay.
And I like the idea of some of it being smooth and polished and shiny, and some of it being kind of worked over. Like this is supposed to be the animal's fur. You
Yeah.
know how the bison has this long, kind of shaggy coat, and then they have this little, I don't know what you call the top. It almost looks like a hairstyle on a bison. You know, it's rough and short on the top of their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very interesting.
so texture is fun to work with on a sculpture. Yeah.
Right. So it's your work actually quite. I mean, I see that I see the resemblance between your painting and your sculpture, right? Because
Oh, do you? It makes
what
me
you
happy.
what you paint actually, what you create in your sculpture, it somehow it's similar to your painting because the painting also I see this perspective that you often work with. And so the same thing, you carve it into stone, that perspective. So you see um, the
Yeah.
resemblance between these two work.
Yeah.
And
Well, I often think that there is something that changes when you sculpt and kind of changes your painting, that it informs your painting or that it's part of what you do, so it's going to not be so different, even though it's a different medium.
yeah. So what attract you to like cityscape? Because I see you have a lot of cityscape too in your
I
work.
have a lot of windows. I like
Yeah,
windows.
windows. Yeah, windows you have a lot too.
I really do. I like the way they divide the canvas and they create a scene within a scene, and then you can move from the inside to the outside into your reality, which is outside of the canvas frame, and then another one, and then another one. Sort of adds layers. I like that.
So most of your subject are you seeing from inside the window, not from
Yes.
outside. So this the idea of connection, right? Connection from in and out. This
Here's,
makes sense.
let's see if I can make this happen. Can you see this?
Let me
This,
stop sharing again. We may be able to. Yeah.
do you see that window?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, you
It's
don't. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm
no, that's
crazy.
that's fine. That's fine. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I liked looking out that window, and I like the interior with the red wall and the chair. And then I thought it would be fun to have a lady peering over.
Oh, so th there is a lady, right? There is a lady on the corner.
Oh, I put her there. There was nobody, but I added.
Yeah, I mean, that's again, you're an artist and
I can
you
make it up.
yeah, you can make it work and you can add things, right? So that's the beauty of being artist.
Yeah, yeah.
So so cityscape and are you the subject of your cityscape or the one they are around you, or you also choose these windows from photo or from other references that you find
Well,
around?
many of the windows, like the two that you were sharing,
Yeah.
were the same window in Liverpool, England. It was an apartment that my son-in-law's mom had for several years. And she took pictures out of her window, which I found very interesting. So I started to paint them.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of them are the same, like this one that you can see that says interiors.
Yes.
That one was out of her window. And she took the photos and I painted them.
All right. Okay, so most of your work is not only your references, you use like,
No,
references that you come across and then, right.
right, right.
All right, very interesting, Adele. Thank you very much for sharing all this beautiful work. In particular, like, that your exhibition, which I have actually the flyer here, and it's gonna be till March 30, I believe. And
Yes,
yeah, in Fairmont, New York. So if anybody, I mean,
in Piermont. Yes.
yeah, Paramount. Yeah, I mean, I was in Paramount, I think last year, last summer, we had a road trip and we stopped by. Beautiful city and a lot
Yeah,
of,
and there are a lot of new restaurants and good ones too. And there's a great ice cream place. I'm going to go and have
Yeah,
some.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ice cream is fun. Yes, thank you very much. We really appreciate
thank you.
that you share your work and your artwork with us. And Adele has a beautiful website too, very easy to navigate and see your work. I mean, as I see it, you categorize them really nicely and easy to navigate through your work. And
Oh,
if, yeah, thank you very much. Do you have any last word or last message for our other fellow member and Nova member, Adele?
a last word. Hmm.
Yes.
I would say that for me, it's just an ongoing joy to paint, and I'll paint anything that's interesting to me. So I think it's a gift that all artists can share, right? We all
Yes.
have visions of what we like, and we paint what we want to paint, which is a
Yeah.
it's a not only is it a joy, but it's a privilege. We're lucky that we can do it.
True, true. And you can change things, right? You
We
can
can change,
paint what you want and change it
can make
to what
the
you know.
world what we want to see. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're looking through our own windows. So that's why
Yes.
perhaps you have so many windows because you like to see through the window and you like to see what you want to see, right? And when
Right.
you want to see. And if not, you can just close it. So thank you very much, Adele, and good luck on
Thank
your
you. Thank you,
exhibition.
Farrin.
We really appreciate it. Thank you, and good luck to your exhibition and to your show. And
Thank you.
keep
I
working.
appreciate your conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.